Hey everybody, welcome back. It is gaming time. Let's get into it. We are going straight to the settings today, and we're going to discuss all the different options here, what we want on and what we want off. So starting first with the video, we can go for quality or we can go for performance. I've gone for quality, um, just for make the images look better. For contrast and brightness, I would go for about a 7. Makes the world look way better. And when we come down here, we want these two off, motion blur especially, chromatic. If you want to have it on, it's more of a personal preference. I think the game looks way better with everything off here. We're going to skip controls and come back to that. That's going to take a bit more time. Let's just move to the audio. I have the music turned down. I have everything else up to max. I might tweak all of this slightly, but for now I'm just going to leave it as is. Obviously, we have the voice language set to English. You can put on the immersive mode, which will put the game into Japanese and Portuguese. Um, Controller speaker off because I just find that annoying. Music frequency normal. You can also set that to low or high if you want it. So low, it will just leave you with the ambient sounds a bit more and a lot less of the traversal music and whatnot. For dynamic range, if you've got a good headset, you could set this up to full. So I have it on medium. That was just the default setting. So for the interface, Um, we have text in English. I haven't changed anything here. I would put this down to a small just so it doesn't stand out as much. And I would also move the icons down to small. We don't need them that large. And that gives you a better and cleaner um, screen when you're playing. I have the HUD background completely turned off. Right, moving on to gameplay. Um, This difficulty tuning that will come up after you finish the prologue. Inside here, you can set your combat difficulty. I'm currently at normal. I've only been playing the game for the last 24 hours. Um, I will be switching it from normal to expert, I imagine, within the next day or two. And the same with stealth. And when you change stealth to expert, uh, all of the new mechanics that the game developers are after creating, that really comes to life there with that. Um, and it's a lot harder. You actually do need to stick to the shadows. Then we have guaranteed assassination. Um, this is turned on for me because I feel that that's more immersive to have guaranteed assassinations, coming back to like the old Assassin's Creed way. Um, and it's not that much of a cheat, especially if we're going to be moving these up to expert, and probably most people are going to do that within, um, you know, halfway through their playthrough. Generally, people do that. I remember on Valhalla, I had every time a harder setting came out, I was right there with it. You know. Next, we have guided exploration. You can either have this on or off. Currently, I have this on, and I will probably be turning it off just to make the game a bit more trickier for me. Um, then we have aim assist full. Dialogue icons I have to all. QuickTime events you can set to different amounts. The default is that where you do it yourself basically and you follow the button prompts. There's a simplified version to make it slightly easier. And then there's the auto. If you just don't want to deal with those um, repetitive button pressing. And this is good for anybody that has a disability or doesn't have the full dexterity of their fingers. For me, I'm lazy and I don't want to do those events, so I have it set to auto. Also, auto loot, turn that on. Make sure auto loot is always turned on. Why would you not have auto loot turned on? Or area loot, I'm sorry. I wish there was auto loot as well. That should also be turned on if it ever comes out. Um, But this really saves a lot of time. Next, we're going on to melee attack mode. I've just set this to the default settings, the original settings. You can make it slightly easier for you if you're not looking for a combat heavy experience. You can go for combos, or you can go for combos and posture. And what that does is with the press of one button, it'll do a combo for you rather than you having to button mash. And if you're really unable to work around the combat in the game, you can add in the posture as well. Um, Photo mode on, never really use that. Camera look I have set to default. You can put it on to auto, but this is not very good, not very good at all. It's too fixed on enemies that you might want to fixate on, and if you want to run away, and just escape from the battle, it's a lot harder when you're on auto mode to actually do that. So just set that to default. Camera follow, always have camera follow on. I don't know why that's not an option. Sure, it's over the shoulder, but camera follow needs to be on. Now, I have camera shake on just to make it a bit more fun. A lot of people don't like that, same as the motion blur can cause people to feel a bit sick and stuff like that. So that's personal preference for me. Um, Most people would probably turn this off. I'd say I like to have it on. Dismemberment, obviously, let's have dismemberment. Blood effects, yes, please. Okay, now let's go to the controls. We have auto movement on, and what that means is if you double tap X, it'll auto run for you. Or if you're on a horse, the horse will go automatically, in the direction that your camera is facing. It's a handy one to have on. It's easy to take off as well. There's no real need to disconnect it. Next one, walking speed. Yes, maximum walking speed. You do not want to be too slow in this game. Down here for HUD toggle, I would have this on. And what this means is that at any point in the game, you can just um, double tap the R3 button and your HUD will disappear. So you can enjoy the actual game and the graphics easily. Um, I have the vibration settings just set to auto, or well, to the default settings. X and Y axes. This is a personal preference for people. You can set it to 5. I would probably set it to about 7, which is midway through here, just to give you a little bit faster turn around and look around. Okay, after the X and Y axis, we have the dead zone, left stick and right stick. I've slightly lowered them, and same with the adaptive triggers. I don't use that much because you'll see in my settings in a minute that they're not very important to me. Okay, moving on to the customization of the controller. I'm playing on PS5, and I've been playing Assassin's Creed since I was a kid, since I was 2000, since 2004, and I prefer the um, attacks to be with the X and triangle rather than the adaptive triggers. Just my personal preference, and I've made it a lot easier and I think a lot more controllable. So I have changed some settings here. Let's get into them. Right, first of all, my parkour is going to be X. I've decided crouch is going to be R1 and I hold R1. I don't have to use the R2 button a lot. I'll just be using that for my special attacks. I've also changed my primary interaction to the X button. It says that there's conflicts, obviously, but that doesn't really matter. The X button is your friend. It can handle these 3 different things, no problem. I haven't changed any other of the settings along here. Everything else is exactly the same. Now, when it comes to combat, I have changed the light attack to the square, heavy attack to the triangle, and assassinate is the square. Um, for weapon abilities, these are all the same. These are not affected at all by anything here that I have done. Um, it doesn't change your game effect whatsoever, but what it does do is make the game a bit more fun. Makes it into the more the classic Assassin's Creed settings. Makes it easier for people who don't like. I don't like you using the triggers that quickly, you know. And I do this for any game that I can. When I was playing God of War recently, I did the exact same thing. The classic mode is what it's called. Okay, so that's everything. All the settings we can go over right now. I hope you guys are enjoying Assassin's Creed. I uh, started out really enjoying it, and then a couple of hours in, it was kind of a bit of a slog because of the controller settings. I took some time with it, tested, and found that these controller settings are the peak of my gameplay, and now I feel like a proper assassin again. Okay, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please give me a subscribe or a like. That would be great. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.